Okay, welcome back guys. So another Xbox video today. Now I want to start by just thanking everybody for watching the last video and for commenting. I really appreciated that. It's nice to have a warm welcome back. You know, it's been a few months, but I'm back in the saddle now. We're on the Xbox train and I've got some more great Xbox original and 360 games for you today. So I'm just at the moment chipping away at the lists. I've got about 20 games per console to get, and then after that I'm done with all the essential games that I absolutely have to have, the games that I'm nostalgic for, the games that I want to just play over and over again, that my go-tos. And then after that, I'll just look at the availability on each console, each list, and see what's around. And anything I want to pick up then, random stuff, like I might try the Fear games. I've never really put a lot of time into those. I played Fear 1 and Fear... In fact, no, I played Fear 1 and I played the demos of 2 and 3. I've never actually played them properly. So there's games like that and the Metro games and some others that I might dabble with, but I really want to just focus as hard as I can right now and just get the 2 lists that I've made of the games that are essential to me done. You know, a couple of the games now, like the Punisher on Xbox is around about 20 quid for a good copy. Some of the 360 stuff, like same as PS3, Wolverine X-Men Origins is a £25-30 game. Pain in the arse. I love that game, but you know, if I've got to pay it, I've got to pay it. So we'll have to get that at some point. And there's a couple of others. I know Dead or Alive Ultimate can be a few quid if you get the proper version with this sleeve and everything. So there's a couple of expensive games, but mostly pretty easy to pick up. So let's get on with the pickups. I've got 4 Xbox 360 games, so not a lot there, but I've got a nice stack of original Xbox, and I got a really great deal, and I couldn't believe when I saw this happen. So I'm really excited to show you that one. So start with the 360, we'll do those. It's all Call of Duty, so I do apologise to anyone who hates Call of Duty. I love the campaigns personally. So the first one I picked up was Black Ops, the first one, the old Vietnam psychological warfare game. Absolutely brilliant. Really enjoyed this campaign when it came out. I've not played it for a long time. I am looking forward to eventually sitting down with my 360 and just playing my games again, because it's been a while. I've had a very hectic few months. Haven't had a lot of time to really sit down and spend hours playing games. I'm just dabbling now and again, jumping in and out. But yeah, really excited to have Black Ops back in the collection. I'll be able to sit down and play through that. I've got Black Ops 2 already over there. Great campaign. Really enjoyed that one. Next up, we've got Modern Warfare 2. So I've got to be honest, this was always my least favourite Modern Warfare. It's a great game, but at the time when it came out, I wasn't that impressed with it. I was kind of bored playing it, and I did not like the no Russian mission. You know, I'm not someone that's easily offended. In fact, I don't get offended by anything, but the no Russian mission, I don't know, it just didn't sit right with me. And I think it's just because you were shooting civilians, not shooting villains. And I never felt comfortable with that. The more I've played it over the years, I've gotten a little bit better with it, but it's weird, you know, all the violence in video games, all the things we've done in our games, especially like GTA and all the open world games, none of it bothers me. You know, I understand the context, and the same with the no Russian, but it just, I don't know, it hit me a certain way and I was like, nah, I wasn't comfortable with that at all. But other than that, the rest of the game's great. It's got some really nice levels. I remember there's a bit in the snow which I really enjoyed. So yeah, looking forward to getting back to it at some point. I haven't got the first one. I did order Call of Duty 4, but unfortunately when it arrived, it was the Classics edition. I got it from Music Magpie. So it's always a bit of a crapshoot with them lot. Yeah, so when that arrived, Classics edition, so I had to send it back. I also ordered World at War. That came from Music Magpie as well. Unfortunately, that one was damaged. The case was damaged, the plastic was damaged, the artwork was damaged. I was like, oh, for God's sake. And that was the most expensive Call of Duty game I bought, because that was around about 8 quid, I think, or something. So that was quite annoying. But look, I'll give them credit. I sent the games back. They gave me a QR code. Didn't have to pay postage, which was fantastic, because I wasn't going to send them back. I said to them, I just want to let you know that the one's the wrong version, the other one's damaged, but don't worry about it. I'm not sending them back because it costs too much. And they went, no, it's okay. Here's a QR code. Go down to the post office. I'll print you a label. And I got a full refund within a couple of days. So kudos to Music Magpie for sorting that out. But I did get my favourite Modern Warfare, which is number 3. I absolutely love this game. It is bloody brilliant. I've played it loads of times. Favourite campaign by far. You know, from the bit, I think it's right. It's been a long time since I played this game, by the way. I think it's at the beginning where you're on the submarine. Those graphics look so good. This generation, a lot of the games really hold up well. It amazes me how well the graphics have held up. I mean, you know, the early games you can debate, but some of the later games and things like Modern Warfare 3 really do look impressive. And Turbulence is one of my favourite Call of Duty levels. Very short, but absolutely brilliant. So much fun. Yeah, Modern Warfare 3 is fantastic. And the last Call of Duty I picked up was Call of Duty 3. So you'll know that if you've watched the last video, you'll know I picked it up for the original Xbox, which I've always said I prefer that version of it. I just feel like it was probably made for that generation and shoehorned onto next gen for PS3 and Xbox 360. But I wanted to get the 360 version while it was still cheap. I don't have it on PS3 because if I remember correctly, the PS3 version, because it's a launch title, it was absolutely awful because they were struggling, obviously, to learn the architecture of the PS3 and the frame rate suffered. So I'll just stick with the 360 version on this, I think. But I'm looking forward to trying it again just to see how the graphics hold up now. Obviously, I've said it before, like with Call of Duty 2, 2 and 3. 3's got better graphics than 2, but they're both launch era games. I think 3 was launch, it might have been launch window. Number 2 was definitely launch day. Number 3 might be launch window. But nonetheless, they're in the early days of the Xbox, and you know, when you compare them to the Modern Warfare games and the Black Ops games, it's incredible that those games on the same system, the amount of improvement they made with each one is just absolutely phenomenal. It really is. But Call of Duty 3 is not the best Call of Duty campaign by far. Absolutely not. It has got some really good levels though. I always enjoyed it myself. Always had a lot of fun with it. So I will give it a blast when I get a chance to set my 360 back up, because at the moment it ain't going to happen. Right, on to the meat and potatoes of this video, which is the original Xbox. So first one we've got is the final James Bond game that I didn't have, which is 007 Agent Under Fire. I've owned it many times. I love this game. I've played through it ridiculous amounts of times at this point. And yeah, it's a fantastic game. So yeah, for me, second favourite Bond game of this generation. First being Russia with Love, which I've recently started playing through again. I've just got to the Spectre base at the end, so I've just got to finish that. And that was because Calvin Dyson, one of the biggest James Bond channels on YouTube, was doing a playthrough of Russia with Love, and it inspired me to go and have another go at it. I really, really like that game. It's so good. So much variety in the gameplay. Fantastic. But that's why I like Agent Under Fire as well. I love the sort of, it's not cel-shaded but more cartoony graphics. But I really like the fact that you get all the weapons, you get all the gadgets. The on-rails bits are really cool and really break up the action. You're hanging out of a car shooting helicopters. You're on a underground rail system shooting people, and it's just fantastic. And you can drive your cars around and the car missions aren't that bad. They actually handle quite nicely. You know, cars for some reason in Bond, they all seem to be either okay or terrible. They all seem to be brilliant. But yeah, I absolutely love my James Bond games. Agent Under Fire is fantastic. I know everyone loves Nightfire. For me, that's a bit further down the list. I can't get on with Nightfire. It starts well, and then it just goes off in weird directions. So yeah, not the biggest fan. But you know, it is a solid game. Okay, next one we got. I love this game. Never completed it. I really need to one day. 50 Cent Bulletproof. Now I've got Blood on the Sand on PS3. I would like it on the 360. I do need to check the price on that because I know it went up a few years ago. So hopefully it's either stayed the same or come down and not gone up any further, because I don't want to spend loads of money on that game, even though it's brilliant. I love the 50 Cent games. I mean, you don't need to know anything about the music or like the music or like 50 Cent. I just like the fact that it's a third-person dumb action game. You just literally run around, just shoot everybody. There's no real skill to it or, you know, in-depth storyline or anything. It's just really, really fun. Both of them are. Blood on the Sand in particular, I really enjoyed that game. Great game. So yeah, really happy to have that. I'm a fan of 50 Cent anyway, so the music is really good for me. But yeah, excellent game to have in the collection. Next one, Dead to Rights. So I picked up Dead to Rights 2. I showed that in the last video. The guy I got Dead to Rights 2 from had both games. And I was sitting there going, oh, I don't know if I want to buy them just yet. I wanted to hold off a little bit. And of course, his copy of number 1 sold and they were immaculate, which is really frustrating. But he had number 2, and I noticed when I did a search that number 2 was in limited quantities on eBay, so I thought, okay, best grab that while you can, so I did. And then I went hunting for number 1, found this one, in really good condition, cheap price. This weird how number 1 is more available than 2. Maybe it was limited quantity when they released it, I don't know. But yeah, I really like the Dead to Rights games. As I've said before, they're like Shadow Dancer with guns, really. It's third person, you run around with your dog, you're shooting people, you're doing stunt jumps, slow motion Matrix sort of thing. Combos, the dog's taking down people. It's a really, really fun series. I'm pretty sure I completed them back in the day when they came out. I've always had a lot of fun with these games. And I know Alex Blutonic78 mentioned to me in the comments in the last video, have I played Dead to Rights Retribution on the PS3 360, which I haven't. I still haven't got to playing that game. So it's definitely going on my list as a game I need to buy at some point, because I don't know why I've never picked that up. I've seen it many times in CEX, but I've just never picked it up. and I would really like to add that into the collection because it's the one Dead to Rights game I haven't played. In fact, I don't even know why this series died. Maybe the developer went under or something. It's a shame they couldn't regenerate it, resurrect it. That's the word I'm looking for. It would be cool to have a new Dead to Rights game. But then again, the way the industry's going, they'll probably just remaster these two instead. Or remaster Retribution, or do a triple pack, because they ain't going to bother their arse to make a new game. Alright, next one I got is 187 Ride or Die from Ubisoft. Very simple game, racing, like Mario Kart, but with hip-hop and guns. I absolutely love it. It's fantastic. It's always been a game that when I first played it, just connected with me, and I've always gone back and played it many times over. And it's just a simple, fun game. I don't know, I've never seen anybody talk about it in all the videos I've watched on YouTube, so I don't know how many people have actually played it or like it, but if you do, let me know. I think it's a really fun game. Then we've got a game that I really do need to sit down and finish at some point in my life. That is Brute Force. So an exclusive for Xbox, third-person action, really fun. You've got 3 different characters to choose from. I've got about probably a third of the way through it, or maybe, I suppose. I've never really got really far into the game, and I've always wanted to because I like sci-fi and I like what they're doing with this. It's a really interesting game, and I've always heard really good things about it. So, yeah, maybe one day I'll sit down and I'll put the time in. I know, and you learn that the time, when you really put time into a game, it really makes a difference. As I say, I've just recently gotten to the end of Russia with Love again. I had a great time with that. I was watching Stu NinjaBearHug, who's come back and started making videos, which is brilliant. Love Stu's channel. I've been watching Stu for over a decade now. One of my favourite channels. So it was so nice that he went away for quite a while, came back, and he's just good old Stu making the same great content. And the reason I mention him is because he's just put up on YouTube yesterday. He put up a message saying that he'd just beaten Banjo-Kazooie, which is a hell of an achievement. Because I played that years ago and I couldn't get anywhere. I was terrible at the game. I do want to pick that up maybe at some point and try it again, because watching Stu go through it, it really has made me interested again. So yeah, he put up a little thing last night, a little short I think it was, about beating the boss. So I watched a little bit and then turned it off because I didn't want to see what happened, because if I ever play the game I don't really want to see the ending. Right, yeah, and also I'll put a link down below to anyone I mentioned in this video. Go and check out Stu's channel. I say he hasn't been back that long, and he's been putting out some great content. He's currently in the process of building a brand new games room, so he's rebuilding his collection, which is really cool. Really looking forward to watching that. He's just put the first video up a couple of days ago, so check it out. Right, so this last 4 games I picked up, I did really well. I got 3 games from one seller, and then I picked up a game which I couldn't believe, and I'll tell you about that at the end. But the first 3 I got, these are in absolutely beautiful condition. The first game I'm going to show you was sold as very good condition. It's practically mint, and the other 2 were sold as mint, and they are. So I was absolutely chuffed to grab these, and they were really fair prices, by the way. Seller was really reasonable. First one I got, James will appreciate it, is sold Import Retro Gamer. That is Outrun 2. So yeah, absolutely lovely condition. I love my arcade racing games. I've always liked Outrun. I'm not as big a fan as James is. He's a huge Outrun fan. But I do really enjoy them. They're just simple, aren't they? It's great music, easy controls, just jump in, race around the track, race at a time. They're excellent. So I thought I'd grab that. Really glad to have it. I won't be able to get 2006 maybe, because the Coast to Coast one, last time I checked, was like 50 quid. It's probably more than that now. I don't really want to, I don't know. I'm not a big enough Outrun fan to justify spending that. It's cheaper on PS2. I can always get it that way instead. Right, okay. Which I have had it on the PS2 before, but there you go. Anyway, so the next one I got is a brilliant, these are all great by the way. This is like the absolute top quality end of the pickups. Next one I picked up was Half-Life 2. So a phenomenal first person shooter. I played this for the first time a few years ago now. Came out in 2006 I believe, so that's why I never played it at launch, because obviously I was onto a 360 which came out in December of 2005 and the Xbox had gone by that point. But I played Half-Life 2, in fact no, God, the first time I played Half-Life 2 must have been 2009 maybe, when I started doing YouTube, and God, that was a long time ago, because my friend came down from Birmingham to see me. 2 of my mates came down and we were playing it because I got stuck. There's a bit where you're in like a prison or something and you have to put tripods up to defend yourself, and I couldn't do it, and my mate Rich did it for me. It was an absolute nightmare to do that. But yeah, I really liked Half-Life 2. I thought the graphics were phenomenal. It's just incredible that the original Xbox was able, I know it's a powerful machine, but to be able to run that game smoothly. I don't remember any slowdown. It was really smooth when I played it. Absolutely phenomenal. Obviously the PS2 would never have coped with that game. But yeah, really glad to have gotten Half-Life 2 in. I can't remember what I paid for it, but I think it's about market value, because I know CEX, it's usually about £8 in there. So I'm surprised that game has never gone up in price. You know, everyone lauds how great it is on the Xbox and how great the game is just in general. I would have thought it would have risen, but thank God it hasn't. But I got a mint copy now, so I'm really happy. The last one I got from this seller was House of the Dead 3. Absolutely great game. I'm really glad to have a mint copy of this. I love House of the Dead games. Light gun games are some of my absolute favourites. I know NinjaBearHug's a huge fan. He was playing Time Crisis 2 recently, which is one of my favourites as well. One of the best light gun games. Yeah, I absolutely love House of the Dead 3. You can use the controller and it works really, really well. I do want to get an Xbox light gun at some point. I know I've seen the silent scope one, the big silent scope sniper rifle. And I believe there is actually a pistol you can buy as well. Although I was looking on the internet, and the silent scopes rifle sometimes, or maybe always, I don't know, comes with a shotgun as well, like a small weapon. So I don't know if that's what you have to use. I don't know what you have to use for House of the Dead 3. I've got to find out. It's not as easy as PlayStation, where you just use a G-Con and you don't have any problems, or a Predator. But there you go. Or the Predator's, is it Hyper Blast or the Hyper something? And it's got a different name in the UK. Right, so that's all the main pickups. Now, this last one, I couldn't believe my luck. This is the best deal I've found in a while. So in the last video, you'll know that I mentioned this game, and I'll show you what it is. It is Manhunt. So remember, this is immaculate, by the way. I said in the last video, I wanted this game for the collection. However, I wasn't willing to pay the price, because at the time when I was filming that video on eBay, people were asking 45 quid upwards. And I thought, I'm not paying that for an Xbox game. Not for a game that I'm not fully invested in. I played it, well, I say I played it. I watched my mate play it when I was younger. I may have played it, I don't remember, to be quite honest. But I've never really put time into the game, and I've always wanted to try it and see what it's about. And I'm just not willing to put 45 quid into a game that I'm not 100% about. So I thought, well, I'm never going to get the game. I'll just have to let it go, because someone let me know in the comments last time the reason the Xbox version is better is because they sorted out the controls, as well as it looking better and running smoother than the PS2 version. They actually adjusted the controls. Apparently they're much better than the PS2 version. But anyway, yeah, I got very lucky. The day after I posted that video, this copy came up, and I couldn't believe my luck, because it hasn't got the plastic, but it's sealed. It's still got the barcode on it. Now, I can, from touching it and feeling it, it doesn't feel or look as though it's been resealed. It looks as though that barcode seal has always been there, which is great. You know, as long as it's mint inside, I really don't care. I'm quite happy. But nonetheless, I got a mint copy sealed, and he wanted 30 quid or best offer. So I put a cheeky offer in, because why not? And he came back and countered me, which is the right thing to do, unlike some people who just decline you, which annoys the hell out of me. Or the worst ones are the ones that just ignore your offer and let it run down, and the clock runs down. That really winds me up. Anyway, so I put an offer in, he countered me, came back with £27.50, and I said, I'm going to have that. I can't really say no to that, can I? No. So that's the most expensive Xbox game I've purchased so far. And, you know, Manhunt's got a great reputation, so really, I can't go wrong, can I? It's a great game. I'm looking forward to sitting down with it one day and just playing through it and see what I think of it. You know, it's Rockstar, so you really can't go wrong. But yeah, I can't believe I found that for that price. I mean, you know, as I say, everybody's asking like 45 quid or more for used copies in varying conditions. So obviously the bloke didn't check the listings or didn't care and just wanted to sell the game. I don't know. Either way, good on him. Thanks to him for doing that. I mean, you know, nice to see a reasonable seller for a change. So there you go. That's the latest additions to the original Xbox and the 360. I've got around about 20 games per console to pick up. And then after that, it'll be the odd game here and there, just things I'm interested in playing. But, you know, I really want to just keep it as compact as I can. I don't want to have tons of games for both consoles. I really want just the games that I actually thoroughly enjoy. But there are the odd game, like the Fear games, that I'm interested in. And maybe Sonic Racing Transformed as well as another one. I played that on Wii U originally. I absolutely love that game. So, yeah, we'll see. Or I may just not bother and just keep it to the list that I've made. And that'll do me. Because, you know, I've got one shelf for PS3. I'm very happy with all those games there. I don't need to add any more to it. So it could be the same for the Xbox and the 360 as well. We'll wait and see. Time will tell. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know your comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video.